The Brown decision was the opening shot of the Second American Revolution. When the Supreme Court spoke with the power and unanimity of its voice and said that equal opportunity has to be the law of the land, it opened the door to a set of changes that have not yet been fully realized, but which make the promise of America a promise that we can all share together, one in which hope is real, and the ability to realize that dream is what we struggle for today. Segregation of the kind we're talking about left its mark in two ways. One, in the physical context of what was available to students, but also, and perhaps more importantly, in the psychological context of what it said to students who saw themselves as being the unpreferred race, the race that would be subjected to the harshness of daily life and segregation, and without explanation, without rationale, simply the way it was. It was custom and heritage, and it's always been that way, and for what we knew as young people, that was the way it was always going to be. In communities in the South where the most rigid and aggressive forms of racial segregation were practiced, I think school children often saw themselves on the short end of the stick. You always knew that your books were likely to be secondhand, books that had been passed down to you from the white school across town. You always knew, as a general matter, that your school looked differently. It's hard to think about America before Brown and think about the cancer that racial segregation represented to the heart of democracy. I mean, if you really believe that America's commitment to equal opportunity and to the values of democracy are what define our national character, then you have to think that racial segregation, in which citizens of the same country would be divided along racial lines, what a contradiction that represents to the country and to the values that we support. When the Supreme Court's decision of Brown versus the Board of Education was announced, it was largely seen through the prism of black-white relations. But the truth is, America has always been a diverse country, and there is a recognition today that that diversity extends to lots of different groups, to women, to Latinos, to Asian Americans, Native Americans, persons with disabilities, gays and lesbians. All are part of the American fabric. And until we can show that the opportunities that we talk about today have been extended to every segment of American society, then the real meaning of Brown will not have been achieved.